Welcome back to Squawk New this morning. Ariel Investments is launching Ariel Alternatives. It marks the first move by the firm into private investments in its 30-year history. Its main focus is called Project Black, and it's to scale sustainable minority-owned businesses. At the onset, JP Morgan Chase has committed up to $200 million to be co-invested alongside Project Black for future transactions. And joining us right now is Ariel Alternatives chairman and co-founder Les Braun. And great to see you this morning. Tell us about this and what the approach is.
So the approach, Andrew, and thanks for having me. I appreciate it. We're looking to change the perception of minority-owned businesses in America. Historically and typically, minority-owned businesses have been viewed as small enterprises, revenues of $5 million or less. Very difficult for the Fortune 500s, many of whom who made considerable announcements around their desire to increase their spend from what is now an average of 2% to 10 to 15% with minority suppliers, to do so with suppliers of any meaningful scale. And there are very few suppliers in the minority community currently who could actually take advantage of that opportunity. And so what we're looking to do is to marry capital and customers in a business to create the opportunity to scale minority-owned businesses that we will own, but to then leverage those businesses into creating both solutions for the Fortune 500s, as well as to develop the social impact that we're looking to develop in terms of populating the C-suites, populating the workforce, creating opportunities in communities of need where there's expansion facilities needed, and so on and so forth.
So just to help clarify, how much of this is about buying effectively other minority-owned businesses and effectively rolling them up to some degree, perhaps on a supplier side basis to some of the big Fortune 500s? Or is it more about buying businesses that may very well not be owned by minorities, but by dint of you owning them become minority-owned businesses and therefore may actually get some of the additional capital and related investment from some of the big Fortune 500 that have created buckets for that kind of investment?
Yeah. Listen, it's both, right? It's actually both. Obviously, there are greater pools of opportunity within the mid-market community, the mid-sized company community that are already providers of services to the Fortune 500, that by dint of our ownership, we can convert into minority-owned enterprises and use those platforms to affect all of the things that we're talking about in terms of not only social change and impact, but literally to create investment returns. Because this, at the end of the day, needs to be about investment returns. Otherwise, it will be viewed as a social project and destined to the bin that others have been destined to.
And in terms of structure of sorts, how do you see this playing out over time?
There's lots of optionality here, but if you think about a model where we intend to own these companies for quite some time, and we'll have the opportunity over that period of time to do what any buyer of an asset does in terms of evaluating the stability and appropriateness of management, how to grow the business, where to grow the business. All of those things will be done with an eye towards what's beneficial for the business, but where we can also accomplish a social objective and improve the wealth creation opportunities for our community.
Right. You've already signed up JP Morgan to invest by your side. Do you imagine that the investor class is other Fortune 500 companies, or do you imagine it's more of the quote-unquote investor class, the pension funds and others?
I think since we're solving for solutions for the Fortune 500, they're the natural partner for us. Working together, we can create those circumstances which satisfy their need to expand their diversity supplier base, which shorten and bring closer their supply chain to their business, and which continue to add value in ways that they've historically expected their suppliers to add value. So I think they're the most natural base of fellow investors with us as we develop these relationships.
And let's just speak to this, because I actually think this, what I'm about to say, may be the most exciting piece of this is, given your experience and your network and Ariel's network and Melody's network and the whole, the kind of people that you're hoping to bring into some of these businesses over time?
Yeah, well, listen, no one has a better network than Melanie. Let's start with that. But those of us who are in and around that universe all know that there is a tremendous network of Black and brown executives who are dispersed throughout corporate America, most of whom won't have the opportunity to be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. I mean, by definition, there are only 500 of those jobs, and some small percentage goes to our folks. But these are competent, qualified executives who we've known and continue to know. We've watched grow and continue to expand their skills and experiences. Right. They're a pool of talent that we can bring to bear to the companies that we own to advantage the economics of those companies and accomplish the other objectives we've got.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.